Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Let's Roll. Haunted adventures need a little possession. This possession takes many forms, but today we are delving into object possession. How do you DM animated objects? The first appearance of animated objects that I could find is in 3.5's Monster Manual, where we get the image of a candelabra that is twisting and contorting, with a face of pain in the middle, described as a servant of the person that animated them. Interestingly, the stat block goes by the size of the item you use, so many items can be animated, but it is up to you to create the stats for it. The next appearance, to my knowledge, is 5th edition, where we get multiple stat blocks for 3 distinct objects: armor, rugs, and swords. The images given are good, especially for the armor, and importantly, their descriptions provide options for other objects that the stat blocks can be used for. On to 2024, where we see these previous stat blocks return along with a new animated broom. The art given for this one is all of them in the same room in what I suppose to be a haunted house of sorts, for obvious reasons. The descriptions all give more options for objects that could be using the stat blocks, just like 5e. As for the lore of animated objects, there is not a ton to go on. The only thing we know is that these objects are imbued with magic in some way, whether it is raw or wild magic, a wizard, a spirit, fiend, a celestial. It all can go on. Any form of magic from D&D can animate these objects. Once the magic animates them, they follow the simple commands of their creator, and if left unattended, will do what they are told for eternity, until they deanimate or rot away. Gameplay-wise, animated objects can be a fun way to bring some chaos into an unassuming place that the characters feel comfortable in. The animated armor has an AC of 18 and an HP of 33, a lot of immunities, and a multi-attack slam. The animated broom has 15 AC, 14 HP, another lot of immunities, and a flyby trait that allows it to not provoke opportunity attacks as it moves around, and then lastly, a slam attack. The animated flying sword has 17 AC, 14 HP, immunities, and a slash attack. The animated rug of smothering has the lowest AC at 12, 27 HP, immunities, and a smother action that grapples, damages, blinds, restrains, and suffocates the target, all in that order. It's a great attack. Scary if you're a player, but it's a great attack for the DM. I will now go through a scenario here that would be realistic for me, personally, to run. So obviously we have to start in a mansion that the party has heard is haunted, but no concrete evidence exists. The party goes inside, maybe triggers a trap, as you do. The faint sound of moaning, wailing, or piano music can be heard in the very far distance. Cobwebs line the entirety of the place, and there is no source of light to be found. But of course your whole party has dark vision, so they see it as if it was dim light in shades of gray for 30 to 120 feet depending on their species. There are objects scattered all over the place, and they all get shuffled around as the party moves around looking for clues. When someone finds a bookshelf with a book looking like it has been pulled out more than the rest. What they don't know is that this book has a 5th level glyph of warding that upon activation will animate 1 large object using the Rug of Smothering stat block, and 3 small to medium objects using the other stat blocks as seen fit. They will animate in the room and begin combat with surprise if the party didn't know about this, and if the caster of the spell is not with the party, triggering the glyph, then roll initiative. Use the animated armor for a tanky damage dealer, the animated broom for a flyby attack, and get out of range using its fly speed. The animated flying sword is more damage, and the animated rug of smothering, well, that just smothers someone, hoping to basically remove them from the combat during that time. This combo can and will absolutely devastate the party, especially with surprise. Now, The party has a couple ways of getting around these foes, and for some reason, I saw a few people complaining that the stat blocks for these foes will no longer explain the Dispel Magic effect on these enemies. The Dispel Magic effect is the most powerful effect to use against these enemies, and here's why I think it would still work. The first word in the description for these guys is magic. It describes how magic is the thing that creates animated objects. Complaining about this is like saying that the mage stats don't mention the effects of Dispel Magic, so it doesn't work on their spells. Crazy work. Anyways, now that that rant is over, players, as always, have good defenses against these animated objects, and the DM may or may not give them certain advantages based on the environment and stuff, and the same goes for the animated objects. So really that was it for animated objects. Not a long video, and I'm shocked that these guys didn't appear in any more editions of the game. There does lay a caveat though. Technically the animate object spell has existed since original D&D. But I wanted the stat blocks, and they don't appear until 3E as mentioned, at least as far as I can tell. I like the enemies, as they are really good for surprising your party, and they provide a real challenge and very deadly combos if not taken care of quickly. But that's it, y'all. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, let's roll.